Hello and welcome to Casual Buddhism. I'm Cindy Rossico and I'm joined by Venerable Dhammananda Pikuni, the first fully ordained Theravada Buddhist nun in Thailand. She's also the abbess of Sangdhamma Kalyani Temple, which is an all-female monastery located about 40 miles west of Bangkok in Nakhon Pathom. And I should say, for those of you who may be new and watching tonight, Casual Buddhism is a series of really informal conversations. We talk about everyday issues and Buddhism and how we can bring Buddhism into our everyday lives. So people who come on have simple conversations, maybe sometimes questions, and join in with Venerable Dhammananda in a really great dialogue. So tonight we have a special guest. We have Suzanne Simonetti, and she is I should say a sister author of mine at She Writes Press. She wrote a beautiful book called The Sound of Wings, so we'll put a little plug in for that. And of course, we're joined by Venerable Dhammananda and two seminaries. And you often don't see her, but Venerable Parapuna is over to the side. She helps organize the Zoom. So thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Suzanne, would you like to get the conversation rolling? Do you have an issue or anything?
I do. I'm going to start slowly. I usually rush myself, but I'm going to take my time. I'm thinking about, the chaos. We live in a very chaotic world. There's a lot of noise around us, from the news to just our everyday lives. And so, we try our best to sort of stay centered and stay balanced and filled with good energy. So let's say I wake up in the morning and I do my yoga and I even do my meditation and I feel good. But then what happens is that the doors to life opens up and people are there and problems are there. And it's almost like, oh no. And I feel like the energy that I've built up in the morning is draining. And I'm wondering, do you have any tools or tricks or suggestions that to sort of keep that hole in the boat plugged so that the energy isn't filtering out and we keep that good energy and we stay centered?
Yeah. When you said, as soon as you step out of your individual world into the outside world, already you start having problems. But actually problems do not feel themselves problems. It's just experiment. It is just experience. It is just contact. So in what you call problem, it can also be an exercise for us. An exercise for us to do our mental practice, just like your yoga. You're having a back pain. A back pain is only a feeling.
That's right.
That pain is only a feeling, but it is your mind that dislike it, and your mind dictates that is pain, and you dislike it.
That's correct.
Yeah. So problems are things which happen outside. It can also happen inside. On certain days you don't even meet anyone, but you're not happy. Because of the contact that comes into your mind is not what you like.
You're right. So we know that our thoughts or our mind is sort of running away by how we feel. Is if we have a bad feeling, we know this is wrong. Something's going on. This is causing it. Right. And my brother, it's funny. I'm going to mention this. My brother, he sometimes, if we're in the same room together, he will be quiet and he'll be thinking. And he goes, shh. And I say, what is that? And he said, I'm quieting my mind. He says to himself, and now I'm doing it. And so that looks a little strange when you're out in public, So, but it's almost like you have to change the channel, and do you ever find yourself in that position where, maybe your mind is getting away from you and you say, no, I have to stop that. I have to turn that off.
Sometimes, you get into unpleasant conversation with someone and it's growing into a fight. That it's growing into a fight, So what I do when I feel that I cannot continue this any longer, I step out. I step out from that particular area. I go out and walk in the garden. I go out and see blossoming of the flowers, you know. So that is called shifting the mind. Shifting the mind, shifting the mind. So allow the mind to experience something with good energy.
That's right. I like that. It's a
Yeah.
redirect. And I also caught that you said sometimes when we're alone, we'll have, sometimes the argument is going on inside our heads, maybe not with ourselves, but it's an imaginary argument we're having with someone we're mad at. And then that happens too. Cindy, does that happen to you?
Oh my goodness, yes. I have
Yeah.
such conversations in my mind, you can't even imagine. And sometimes even when I'm walking, I'm hiking, I'm out in nature, and I'll still find myself running a list of things I have to do today, or darting into the future. When I find myself getting too dark or too involved in my thinking,
Yeah.
coming back to my breath,
Yeah.
coming back to an awareness of, hang on, you're not here. I'm not here. So I find that.
Yeah. And even, you could be washing the dishes or even chopping vegetables. And if I'm not in a good mood and I'm thinking bad things, I'm going to cut my finger. Bad things happen.
Right.
And I'm like, that's because this is wrong. And so I catch myself sometimes, but sometimes it's hard to turn that channel. So I'm wondering, is there a way? Because it's, we don't sometimes have the garden to go into, or we don't have that escape. And so we're at the desk, let's say, and we're looking through email, and we just have to sort of surrender, if you will, to whatever is being in front.
Suppose if you're in front of the screen, you're reading at the emails, maybe unpleasant, maybe something that you don't like, this change of context, a change of circumstances. Maybe you just simply, you don't have garden to walk out to. Maybe you just turn your neck, turn your head to somewhere else, look through the window and see something different, So that is called change your mind, change the position of your mind. Yeah, that helps. That helps.
I think that's accessible to us. And I also think a big part of it is being aware, and I am aware. I'm aware when my mind starts to go and I'm in a dark place that doesn't feel good. And the feelings will let me know. Like if I start to feel bad, I sometimes will stop and say, why am I feeling bad? Oh, it's because of what I'm thinking. Okay, so then I have to change what I'm thinking because I can't continue my day like this, So I am aware. I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah, and just now Cindy said about coming back to the breath, this coming back to our inhaling and exhaling, it's to be reminded. We should be reminded to be in the present moment. And, the present moment is the most important thing in your life.
That's right.
Because whatever you think is already past. Whatever you imagine is always the future. You live in the now.
You live in the now. And I love that. And I've heard the tapes for years. I've listened and read the books. And one of my favorite expressions to really bring that point home is that nothing ever happens unless it happens in the now. Everything that has ever happened has happened in the now. And when you think of it that way, it's really fascinating. Yeah. So I try and hold on to that too.
There was something else, Venerable, that you told me once when we were meeting that was quite powerful for me. It was this sense of not only are we in the now, but when we're present, we have the ability to interact with the other person. And I think sometimes getting in the now involves letting go of I, me, mine, and looking to the shared connection. I think that's what you were getting at. Can you?
In Buddhism, it is called emptying yourself. Emptying yourself. Suppose if I'm talking to you, I'm listening to Cindy's problems. Cindy comes with all kinds of problems. So I listen to carefully. Suppose I listen to her carefully, but if I'm listening to Cindy with me, Dhammananda, then whatever you said, oh, Cindy, you should not do that. I am not listening. I'm not giving up myself completely. I'm always holding myself as I, judging Cindy. So that is not pure listening. Pure listening is really to let go of myself, to listen to what Cindy is telling me. So I am giving you myself 100% to you, to be in this present moment, to really not only listen, but to feel the suffering that you are going through.
Right.
So,
and I think a lot of it has to do with how we react to things, that we're in control of our reactions. And so I have an uncomfortable conversation that's going to be happening in a few days with a family member. And I'm going to do just what you said. I'm going to listen and not react. I'm going to hear him. Yeah.
Oh.
Which is not easy. Which is not easy.
It's not. No, you know why? It's not easy because I also have a lot of feelings attached to it. And so I've been angry and I've had these arguments in my mind already. But I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to walk into it and with it, like you said, I'm emptying out before. I'm going to do that, because otherwise I'm going to walk in there with a loaded gun, so to speak.
Right. But at least we are aware, you are aware that you are going to go in there and try to listen to him. Take a deep breath.
I'm going to do that. I am going to do that.
But that is not easy, Cindy. It is really not easy. This I keeps popping up. Sometimes I listen to my own children. They're telling me about something. I try to listen to them carefully, emptying myself. But then suddenly I said, "Oh, how stupid you are!"
Okay. Well, that makes me feel better to hear that. Okay, so then we all lose ourselves a bit.
Well, this is a wonderful conversation, and I thank you for being on, Suzanne, and thank you, Venerable. It was full of, it was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Good conversation.
Yeah, I feel really good. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Yes. And we wish you also, Venerable, all health and safety with the COVID situation. And in ending the program, you can always contact me on my website, cindyrosico.com, or through my Facebook account, which you can also get on the website. And there are many, now we think we have 10 or 12 casual Buddhisms, and there's a YouTube site that has these all presented. So you have a particular topic you want to look for it, you certainly can. So thank you, everyone. And I thank everyone who's watching, and we will see you next week.